for me, the barbecue in Australia is so famous because of the social interaction. I think from friends and family gathering together outside, it's a very interactive experience, and it's been part of our history because of our good weather. Lots of people often do it outside, and it's a very kind of family-oriented experience. The food side of things, I think we like to keep it pretty simple, using all types of cuts of meat. We use lots of sausages as well. We use beef rump, which is not very popular anywhere else in the world really, but we tend to use that in Australia, which is, it's nice and flavorful, but it tends to be a little bit chewy sometimes, but it's depending on how you cook it as well. I think we like to try and keep it pretty simple. We don't go crazy with marinades. We don't go crazy with cooking styles. Sometimes it's over direct charcoal, like you see here. Sometimes it's over direct gas, but almost always we use a grill to shield the meat from the fire, which also gives off a nice charcoal flavor or a nice grilled flavor as well. But yeah, generally it's quite simple the way we do it. For the cuts of meat for the barbecue, you would generally use any kind of steak you can get your hands on, whether it's a sirloin steak or a filet steak or even a rump steak. Any steaks are pretty good for the barbecue. You don't want anything too thick, because by the time it's cooked all the way through, it will generally be a bit too burnt. So you want something, maximum an inch thick, I would suggest, depending on the heat of the barbecue. Other cuts of different animals, lamb, you would use tenderloin, lamb chops, lamb loin, even lamb rump as well. But again, you don't want anything that's too large, because by the time it's cooked on the inside, it will be a little bit too burnt, I would suggest. Chicken as well, we generally use chicken breast, whether it's filleted chicken breast, where it's kind of butterflied, or a whole chicken breast, depending on the temperature of the barbecue. Or even sometimes we butterfly the whole chicken, so it's open, and then we can cook it evenly as well. But yeah, it depends on exactly what you want, the heat of the barbecue, and how many people you're going to feed as well. We currently use a nice marinade for our lamb, which we slowly roast over an open fire in Bushman's. That is mustard, thyme, lemon, and we use a little bit of sumac as well, which gives it a nice kind of lemony flavour also. And that tenderises the meat and gives it nice flavour as it slowly cooks over a long time as well. But if we were doing, say, beef, I would like to use more garlic and sometimes a bit of olive oil, maybe a little bit of mustard as well. Chicken, I usually use thyme, garlic and lemon as well. So it's all quite basic, the marinades, but it does accentuate the flavour of the meat. My favourite one, it would have to be garlic first, and then it would have to be a good olive oil as well, and then a nice mustard, whether it's a grainy mustard or a smooth mustard, it doesn't really matter, as long as it has a nice bit of flavour as well. And then I'd have to say thyme as well. That's the basic marinade that I'd always use, yes. I think if you go too crazy with your marinade, then you lose the identity of the meat. I think what you want to do is showcase the natural flavour of the meat and just add to it a little bit without taking over. I think if you get too crazy with your spices and too crazy with intense flavours, I think you'll end up with a product that's not what you're searching for initially. And I think that's the key to Australian barbecue.